This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, in the last session, what we were discussing. Agile manifesto and Agile principles, right? Yeah. Right. So today we'll try to understand the Scrum framework. Scrum framework and the Scrum terminologies, what we come across with. So we'll see that. Let me show you that Scrum framework diagram. So before that, so we have some Scrum terminologies which we need to understand. So that is Scrum roles, Scrum ceremonies, and Scrum artifacts. What comes under Scrum roles means the product owner, the team, and the Scrum master. So first we'll try to understand who is this product owner. Okay. Product owner is somebody, he is a person who is from the client side person who is going to give you the user stories or exactly what exactly the customer wants. He is going to give you the stories in the form of stories. Okay, try to understand here. Okay, I'm audible to everyone, right? My voice is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So fine. So product. So what are the roles of the Scrum? Means the product owner role is what basically. Okay, team what they will do, Scrum master what they will do. We'll try to understand. So product owner is a person who is going to give you the requirements. I mean, in the form of user stories, and these user stories is going to be accepted or rejected. Like later, once they develop the software of that particular user stories, whether that product owner he can accept that work or he can reject that work because he have that rights. So he is a person who is going to accept or reject the work. He is going to give you the release date as well. Okay, and you can say I'll share these notes, but just orally I'm telling what are there. Okay, so he's going to give you the release dates at what time the software need to be released, and whatever the work you have done, whether to accept it or not. Okay, and what stories has to be developed. Okay, that list of stories he will be providing to you all. The team is nothing but a team. Yes, developers, testers, designers, business analysts, all together what we can call it as a team, right? And Scrum Master, he is a facilitator to the team. Facilitator to the team means he's just like our manager. Okay, but here we call them as what a Scrum Master, who is going to communicate or exchange the information between our client and the team, the development team and all, the testing team. So, and he is a facilitator means anything, any support, anything required, you can. He is going to be available for us. So, Scrum Master role. What are the role means? What are the information like between your because every time we cannot interact with the client, right? As a tester or as a developer, you cannot go and ask the client. So anything, so some whichever the information that need to be exchanged. So there is a facilitator whose name is like what you can call it as a Scrum Master here. He is going to lead the team, right? So these are the roles like product owner, team, and the Scrum Masters of the roles of the Scrum. What are the roles of the Scrum means? You can say like it's a product owner, okay, team, and the Scrum Master. And the next is Scrum events. What are the Scrum events? Scrum events like ceremonies. Okay, Scrum ceremonies are what? So ceremonies are like sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retrospective, and daily Scrum meeting. So here we need to understand sprint planning means what, sprint review means what, retrospective means what, daily Scrum meetings are what. Sprint planning, as I told you, so product owner will give you the list of user stories that all what you can call it as a product backlogs. We can say what is that product backlogs. What is meant by product backlog? Means which we are supposed to deliver it to the client, which we are supposed to deliver it to the client, which are nothing but we not completed. See, what are your academic backlogs? Means what you say. Yes, I am two subjects are pending, five subjects are pending, like that you will say, right? Those are not completed. They are supposed to be completed. Like that is what here product backlogs means. The user stories which they given by the product owner need to be completed, need to be get ready. So not yet ready. So which are like what you can say product backlogs. So sprint planning. What is the sprint planning means? From this product backlogs, the list of stories we will take in the form of sprints for this particular sprint one. How many stories can be accommodated? That is what they will plan. So how many stories means for sprint one? Let's say we accommodated 10 stories. So 10 stories and its sprint time period is something like 3 weeks. So within these 3 weeks, we are supposed to deliver the 10 stories. That is the planning, right? Second sprint, again, how many stories we need to deliver. Like that, they will plan. That is nothing but sprint planning. First sprint, how many stories? Second sprint, how many stories? Third sprint, how many stories? We are going to plan it, which we can say is sprint planning, right? And sprint review means what? Yes, once the sprint planning is done, and review part means every during the sprint, whatever the activities you are doing, it has been reviewed. It has been reviewed. Like what you wrote the test cases, and you need to send this test case document to the client side person. Again, client side person also you will have a QA person who have experience and a subject matter expert, you can say. Good knowledge on the technical side, good knowledge on the QA side, good knowledge on the application perspective. That person is going to review your test cases and say that yes, these are correct, you can go and execute, like that approval. Okay, that review also might be like you can have a peer review also. Peer review means I write the test cases and some within my team member somebody will execute the check the test cases. So that is like within the colleagues we are checking for its correctness. You can say peer reviews, right? Like that review part is like checking part will be there. Whatever the sprint activities are there, are we correctly going or not? They will check. And sprint retrospective means what? Once the sprint is over, first sprint is over, that sprint after completion of sprint one, we'll have a meeting. Like yesterday I already discussed last point, right? So did we went correctly? Are we going smoothly or not during the sprint? Are any changes required? Are any deviations from that sprint that is happening? This is all tuning up ourselves and correcting ourselves so that any changes required in the coming future sprint we are going to implement it. So that is retrospective. And daily scrum meeting means what? During the daily scrum meeting, what we are doing? Yes, every day there will be a meeting of 10 to 15 minutes where the team members all together will interact and discuss on the things what they have taken for the particular day. So what you have done yesterday, what you are doing today, what you are going to do tomorrow, or is there any epidemics or blockers, epidemics will say, right? Or any blockers that are available. Is any team member is blocking anywhere? So our team is going to support. Like our team members is going to help you out. So that's why the stand-up meeting will be there. So that nowhere nobody is sitting idle without any work. Right? Everybody will have some work. If you're stuck anywhere, our team is going to help you to resolve it. That way, that's a stand-up meeting goes. Right? So these are the like some Scrum ceremonies we can say. And Scrum artifacts are what? What are the artifacts means? Product backlogs is one artifact. Sprint backlog is one artifact. All the documentation. See, product backlog document like user stories they will give. I told where they will give. They will orally tell you, or they email you. No, they'll send a separate document, or they'll maintain a tool in that they will write like Jira tool. Okay, so you are going to have that user stories there, right? So like that product backlogs and sprint backlogs. Sprint backlogs means what? Yes, you have 10 stories in sprint 1, 10 stories in sprint 2, another 10, 15 stories in sprint 3. But among which these sprints, which sprint has to be delivered first? Which user stories has to be delivered first? So whatever the user stories that we need to deliver first will be your first sprint. Whatever the user stories that we have to deliver later will be your second sprint. Like that, they will plan accordingly. That is what sprint backlogs. That also which we are supposed to deliver it to the client. Every sprint what we have again user stories only, right? Now next is burn down chart. Burn down chart is nothing but like we can see like there are the three things you can see there, like to do, in progress, done. So what are that you are supposed to do work that all will be to do list, like three columns, column 1, column 2, column 3. So in column 1, all the list of work what you are doing need to be specified, like all the user stories which you have picked for the sprint 1. And to do, in progress means what? The work which you have taken, you'll drop into in progress bucket. When you dropped into in progress bucket, those user stories means it is the work has been started. Okay, and one more column you can add, test. I mean development, test, and completed, like that. So or simply to do in progress, done. In progress means development is in progress, testing is also in progress. And once that in progress user story is moved to done means development done, testing also done. So like that somebody wants to review, somebody wants to check your progress of that user stories, how many done, how many not done. They can directly go to that burn-down chart and check, so that you can see the status of the sprint, where exactly how many stories are total, how many are pending, how many are completed, how many are in progress. They can track them from the burn-down chart like that. So it is also like some kind of documents that we are preparing. Like, or you can have a tool. In the tool, you will maintain every status. Now, you understood like roles, ceremonies, and artifacts, what they are means. Scrum artifact. Some of the terminologies that we understood. Not only that, if you look at the diagram, see, you can clearly understand here. See, first, product owner will give you the stories. These all are user stories only, which are considered as what? Product backlogs. What is meant by product backlogs? Product backlogs are nothing but which we are supposed to deliver it to the client. So these all are features or requirements only, but in the form of user stories. User story is also a requirement, but small one, right? So these features which we are supposed to deliver it to the client, or list of deliverables that we are supposed to deliver it to the client. So that is the list. From this list, what we are doing, we are picking some user stories and putting in sprint 1, sprint 2, like that. That is what sprint planning. Okay. Sprint backlogs means among this first sprint, what I have to send, we have to develop. Second sprint, what we have to send, what we have to develop and give. Like that is first. So first sprint order, which priority wise. First one what, second one what, third one what. That sprints planning and the sprint backlogs is going to be. And as per the plan, how the sprint planning is done. 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Suppose 3 weeks if I say. So 1 to 4 weeks the sprint can be done. Right. So let's say 3 weeks we are planning one sprint. 3 weeks. 3 weeks means first week. What you'll be doing first, you need to understand that user stories. So grooming sessions will be there. Grooming sessions and estimation story points. Estimation part will be there. Grooming session is discussion about that user story. Suppose one sprint, first sprint, I have 10 user stories. So we should understand all the 10 user stories, right? So that we'll discuss what is that story 1, what is the story 2, what is the story 3, and how much time it will take for to design, develop, and test. We will plan, right? Is it taking 1 day na, 2 day na, 3 day na? Story 1, let's say 2 days. Story 2, let's say it is taking 1 day. Story 3, it is taking, okay, 3 days. Story 4, it is taking 3 days. Like that we will plan. Overall it should be 15 days, because 3 weeks means 5 days, a 5 days a week. Okay, 5 days a week. So total 1 to 10 stories. How many days it is taking to complete? They will plan. So within this 15 days, our all the 10 stories need to be completed. Like that, estimation, first week estimation, second week, and they will start. So once the user story is understand, immediately our testing team will go and write the test cases and keep it ready. You don't wait for any other thing. Once story understood, you go and write the test cases, and the developer also will go and develop the that particular story. Suppose developer says that it is ready, you can go and test also. But the thing is, you should get the approval from the client side people. The test cases, whatever you are executing, that you need to get approval from the developer. I mean, client side person, right? So like that it goes like, okay. So sprint plan, what the sprint, one sprint is 15 days means first week all the estimation part, test case writing. Second week also like they may start the development. Okay. So once the development is over, third week completely you are doing testing, execution part, like that, and defect tracking, reporting. And by the end of the third week, all the demo part also should be ready. That means all this 10 users show the storage should be ready. So we'll plan in such a way. We'll plan in such a way. So that is what you can call it as sprint. That is sprint 3 weeks sprint we plan. So what we are doing in that, we are designing, developing, testing, estimations, everything is done, and we are giving a demo to the client and delivery. And after sprint one is over, yeah, the sprint review. Sprint review means before we give a demo to the client, our internally we also check that software what it is correct or not. After correcting ourselves, again this software will be demoing to the product owner. We'll show it to the product owner like yes, these are the items we have done ready. Make it ready. You please check it. Right? If the product owner under okay, this whatever the stories I give, those all are correct and it is meeting my requirement, he will approve it. So approved. So next we'll go with the next story. I mean next sprint. Again sprint activity. Second sprint 15 days. Again daily stand-up meetings will happen. Okay. Grooming session will happen. Estimations will happen. Development will happen. Testing will happen. Right. By the end of that third week, all the execution part and all second sprint also been given a demo to the client. Again client accepts that second sprint. Like that it goes like. Right. So in that you can identify what are the scrum roles and what is a retrospective. Yeah, as I told you, after completing every one sprint, there will be a meeting. Our internal meeting will be there. How we went, the sprint went correctly or smoothly, or any deviations occurred, or if not, any deviations occurring means we'll correct. We'll tune up ourselves in the coming sprint. So so that we should not do any mistakes or anything, so that our process will go smoothly, right? So in this, can you identify what are Scrum ceremonies? I mean, Scrum roles first. Scrum Master is one role. Product Owner is one role. And the team is another role. These are all what? Roles of the Scrum. Scrum roles. And Scrum ceremonies, what I can say? Ceremonies are events. This is product. I mean, Scrum meeting, sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retrospective. This is all what Scrum events, right? And Scrum artifacts, product backlogs, sprint backlogs, and then what? Burn down charts are the Scrum artifacts. Have we covered everything? Understood like how this process is going? Generally, we are doing what they are taking the test cases, we are taking the requirement, understanding it, we are writing the test cases, and once application is ready, we are testing it. But here, it is going very fast. Means quick. Means application development will go very shorter intervals, like small requirements will get, we'll develop and test and give it to it. Like that, continuous deliveries will be there. Whereas in the traditional models, later stage will deliver, like late development, late testing, late delivery will happen. But here continuously development, testing, and delivery is going to be happen in the agile. Agile means quickly we are designing, developing, testing, and delivering it to the client as per his requirements, as per the user stories. User story. What about this user story? Now we are writing user stories. I am telling. Okay, how to write that user stories? What is the format of that story? That is one more thing that we need to understand. I explained the process and the framework here. Now we'll go little bit briefly. What is that user story? Next, what is user story? What is the format of that story? We'll try to understand. Because product owner will give you the user story I told. But how that user story they are going to provide you? Means what is that user story? Let's try to check.
Sir, if there is any changes in the middle of the development, it will be sent to the product owner or it will be sent to the developers in the sprint, during the sprint.
During the sprint, if any changes
There is
they
any
are
changes.
making,
Yeah.
okay, let's say already we started the sprint, okay, and sprint development activities are going on. Suddenly, they suppose sprint one I have 10 user stories. You developed first story, second story, third story, but fourth story still not yet developed. And the customer again, why we are having daily stand-up meetings and why we have daily meetings with the client? As I told you, daily meetings are there, right? So our business team is always interacting with the business people. So if they are changing, suppose there are changes in this particular sprint, story number 1 2 3. So we will update it immediately because and update it. We will have a grooming session on that particular user story. And if you are not yet developed, you can develop as per the new changes. Because within the sprint, within that 15 days, anything can happen. Any changes can asked by the client. So you can implement it. Suppose if the time is not sufficient, the time will not be sufficient to develop up that particular changes means we'll make it as a spike or like that, and we will postpone to the coming sprint like that. Are you getting the point? So if we can accommodate within the same sprint that change, okay, no problem. We'll continue that work. Small changes. If that changes, the changes which he asked, it will take some time for development and testing. It will take a few more days extra means as per the plan, we may not deliver it means we will move that story to the coming sprint. I mean, next sprint. We'll say to the client that we will deliver in the next sprint. If we can accommodate within the same sprint, we will develop and test and give it to him as per his new changes. That user story will be updated. Are you getting the point now? Updated
Yes.
means once that updated user story, suppose you wrote already test cases as a tester. Now the change has come. The change again updated user story they have given suddenly. Again you have to update your test case document. And new as per the new story, as per the updated story, we have to go and plan and develop our test cases, and the development team also will develop the software as per the new change. And if time permits, within that same sprint only we will deliver. Suppose it is huge one and you cannot deliver on the same thing means we can postpone to the next sprint, but we are going to accept that change, right?
Okay.
Suppose simple I will tell you. Suppose here customer asks you to develop a drop down list in a, suppose I want to create one employee list, employee details page. So employee details page means what you'll have some employee name, employee ID, employee salary, and like submit button I want. So this is my requirement. So user story one, what I'm telling is, so employee names should be pre-populated. I'm giving scenario. Employee name should be pre-populated means just there is a drop-down list. Okay, I told that it should be a drop-down list. All the employee names should be visible there. There's just I need to go and select it from there. I told. And later what I told, you took that story and you started development. And after during that sprint development, what again customer what he told, no, that employee name should be the only edit box. Employee name should be the only edit box, no drop down list to select. Then can we update that change or not? Yes, we need to update that change. First that user story was something like the pick list value. We need to select an item from that value drop down list. But now what happened? It has been changed. That drop down list has been changed to edit box. So the change we accepted, and we need to develop an edit box. We need to develop or drop down list. We need to develop. Tell me.
Edit.
Edit box, right? So edit box we will develop. So there we will update the change. Tester also will update the changes in the test case, something like that. So finally, when we show to the client, there will be a edit box. Are you getting now? So that way it goes like that. Some terminologies that we need to understand, I told, right? Story. User story is nothing but who is going to define that user stories? Product owner, right? Fine. So what is a story means? Okay, it is a small requirement, I can say. It is a small requirement. Epic means it is a big requirement. Means something like a group of stories can be together can be called as a epic. A big requirement, a business requirement. So, uh, for example, customers saying, as a customer, I should able to do online payment using wallet, e-wallet, like Google Pay, Paytm, all UPI payments. So let's say. So this is what. So again, in that, what I'm bifurcating, check as a end user, I'm able to pay the amount using Google Pay. That is one story. Okay. Check that user is able to pay the amount using Paytm. Is another story. Like that. So stories you can include. So something like that. So story format is nothing but we will have three. Excuse me. One minute. Yeah. We are back. So we'll have three C's like card, conversation, confirmation. And what is the format of that story means? Card format as a some role I should able to feature so that dash acceptance criteria so that what you can able to you can say here acceptance criteria. So that is nothing but something like role means you may log into that website as an end user or that vendor can able to log in and change some changes in that. So like what you exactly you want. You want to log in as a suppose login functionality. So as an end user or as a user, I should able to log in so that I can see the product details. So that I can see the product details. Product details checking is the acceptance criteria, like that. So let's say we are doing some payments, right? So I'm buying some product and doing some online payment. So as a customer, I should able to do the payment using Paytm. So we will always we'll go and check. We'll buy some product, and after checkout, we'll try to pay the amount through Paytm. That Paytm process is completely successful or in that application not. We are supposed to check. For that, we need to write some test cases. Same way, I'm going to pay through Google Pay so that the payment process is successful. So that the payment process is successful. So that payment process is done, is successful. Like that everywhere. The payment process should be successful. Suppose login as a user, I must able to log in so that I can able to see the products. So that user can able to see products like that. So suppose the products prices will be there. Suppose laptops, suppose Flipkart or Amazon or like that. This once you log in into the website, you can see laptops, cell phones like that, right? That price list also will be available. That prices who are going to change it? User is going to change the prices? No, right? Somebody, the admin people or who have rights, that vendor who created that application, the admin people who have rights to, they will go and change the prices of that laptop and all. That is separate task. So, so you should log in with separate credentials so that you can modify that application. So like that, as a vendor, I should able to change the product so that products names are changed or product images are changed like that. So that product image are changed successfully. Okay, or so that the products are added successfully, right? And also the product price list has been changed. So as a vendor, I should able to change the price list. As a vendor, vendor is the role. I should able to is a common format. Able to change the price list is of a product is a feature what we are supposed to check. Means yesterday where before changes there is a price of a laptop is 10,000. Now after doing the changes the price of the laptop should be something like 15,000. So the change is updated or not you need to check, right? The change is updated or not you need to check. So that is what that they'll give the detailed requirement based on that so that user can able to change the user can able to see updated price list like that. So like that you will keep on getting the stories in the form of this card format as a dash. I should able to dash so that acceptance criteria. So this will be your story format. So whenever you read these stories, don't you get doubts? Suppose I said add the images. How many images I should add? What is the size of that image? You'll have these questions. So these all points will put in front of the team, business team. Sir, you told that you need to add images. In that, how many images I should add? Okay. So that is one thing you need to. Images, yes, he will say that at least 5 images you add. So that is again we need to update. So this all between you and the client, business team and the client. client and the development team. Means your testers, business analyst, whoever the main persons will interact with the mainly business analyst will interact with the client and try to understand that requirement clearly. And he will create that user stories, whatever they created, they will give it to our team members. We need to understand, right? Okay, if we have any doubts, we need to get clarified with the product owner, right? That is what, or the client side people who have that complete idea on that requirement. So we will discuss with them. We'll have a conversation, face-to-face conversation, or in return we'll have, and also we have discussed. We will discuss with them through online, right? And we'll get the clarity on that requirement, and we will note it down. So that way the conversation goes. So card, they gave the format. So they gave one user story. You are discussing any doubts, questions are there. You are correcting them. That user stories, whatever you are trying to understand, and confirmation. Yes, client is the product owner is going to give you the confirmation. Yes, this is what I want. Yes, 4 images I want. Okay, that 4 images site should be so and so. He'll give the complete confirmation. PO, product owner is going to give you the confirmation. So with that, you will freeze that requirement. You freeze that user story. You can go continue. You can go ahead thereafter, right? So that way, like card, conversation, confirmation is a part of user story. So all the user stories you'll get like this. They may put in Jira, like Jira means the defect tracking and reporting tool or test management tool, you can say, right? So once they put in Jira, you can go through with that, and our testers can prepare our test cases by looking at that user stories. So each and every user story you'll take. For sprint one, how many stories are there? For all that stories, you'll make that test cases ready. Once the developer make it ready, that software or this user stories, they'll make it ready. You are going to check that particular stories, whether it is as per the client requirement, it is working or not. All the stories done, the your cure part is done. Everything working fine. We give a demo to the client that sprint one is completed. Like that, right? Are you getting the point now? Sprint means what? Card means what? Conversation means what? Confirmation means what? Epic means what? These all terminologies you are able to understand. So I'll give you this agile process template, and you can go through this. See, I'll give you this Word document. It's clearly specified card, format and conversation, confirmation, daily planning meeting, daily scrum meeting, review meeting, retrospective meeting, scrum artifacts. Okay, product backlogs means what? So product backlogs, grooming sessions means what? Grooming is understanding that requirement or understanding the user stories and the product estimations. You do story estimations, right? Okay. Sprint burn down, all we discussed. Just go through with this. Okay, you may get some questions on this. As I told you, I'll conduct one test or assessment. You can write up whenever I conduct. But from this, some questions will rise. Just go through with that. Product owner, Scrum Master. This part is clear, everybody. Are you able to follow me? Tejaswini, Sridevi, Dhanushree, Reddy. Right. So for today, I'll stop here because we need to go through with a new topic. So I'll explain that new topic tomorrow freshly. So just go through this agile process one more time. The story format and the story templates I will give you how to write the user stories. Like user stories, we won't write. Okay, already written stories we'll get. Take that user stories and as I told you just now, I showed you example, right? They will give you in Jira like that. In Jira, like Jira tool, they will specify. So you can go through that stories and you will prepare your test case documents. For test case documents, how the document template will be there, what all the contents are there. When I discuss, I'll share that with you, and I'll make you to do some activities also. Like we'll take some mini project kind of thing, small one, small demo application. On that, I'll make you to write that stories, and on that, I'll make you to write the test cases, and you can execute them. You can find the bugs, you can report the issues like that. That entire activity, once we understand the entire terminologies, the process, once you understand the testing process, life cycle process, and the bug life cycle process, we can start that activity so that, oh, this is how we will do, you'll come to know. First, the process and the terminologies, which we'll understand. Okay. And next, we will continue the levels of dynamic testing. What is unit testing? What is integration testing? What is system testing? We'll start tomorrow. Okay. I'll share these notes.